Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you back in this lesson. So now we are looking at the reading comprehension questions that are based upon the reading comprehension that we just did, a little bit of a short article about space exploration. Alright, so our future far from home. So let's look at the questions and then we will look at the article to find the right answers together. Okay, so number 1. Why is the space elevator so important to our future in space? So if you recall it without having to look at the article, great job. So let's go into it for those who don't or who cannot see it. So the question was, why is the space elevator so important to our future in space? So if we have a look at this article here, we can see author C. Clarke, and that could be a reality. Yeah, so this is what he was saying. So my bemused look encourages him to explain further. So this is what he said. The elevator will basically be a huge cable attached to Earth at one end and going up into space and allowing us to move huge loads up into the orbit at a fraction of current costs. Okay, and then it later on says that it's important to do that because without that device, we're never really going to be able to successfully build in orbit the huge spaceships that we'll require to explore our solar system. So that is what you would say in your response to that, because without that device they won't be successful in building the orbits for the huge spaceships that we're required to explore outside the solar system. Okay, number 2. What are the problems with current rocket technology and how can we resolve them? So let's go back into the article and let's look for the answer here. So what is wrong with rocket technology right now? Okay, so if we have a look here as to what Alan Holmes said, so it's the 4th paragraph. So Alan Holmes says, we can't continue to use conventional rocket engines for the longer trips of the future. It would take thousands of years to reach nearby stars. Alright, so it further continues on. It says, how can we resolve them, right? So, how we can resolve them, this is what he says. To get higher speeds, we will need to work on, and indeed are working on, new propulsion systems such as ion drives and even solar sails that harness the solar wind. Okay, like the sailing ships that are used in centuries past. So what we could say here as an answer is, what are the problems of current rocket technology? They would prevent us from exploring space because it would literally take thousands of years to reach other planets. But now we can resolve that by using ion drives and even solar sails. So by using ion drives and solar sails, we can increase the speed and then reach these locations and places at a much rapid rate, at a much quicker or faster rate, let's say. Number 3, why is Becky Manson's organization called the Next Earth Project? So if we have a look at the article here, so when the author arrived for the meeting with Becky Manson, he first asked her to explain what the meaning of the name of the organization was, and this was her response to that. We decided to call ourselves the Next Earth Project because that's ultimately what we're looking for. That's ultimately what they're looking for. So they're basically looking for the next Earth that we can all inhabit. So what is terraforming? Number 4. Let's go back into the article and let's locate the actual meaning of what terraforming is. So if we can look at the 7th paragraph. Once we arrive, it starts off by saying, once we arrive on a new planet, the battle to make it habitable will already have begun decades before, in a process called terraforming. Okay, so she continues saying, Becky continues to explain that this is the name we give to the long work involved in making the atmosphere of the planet breathable. So terraforming is ensuring that they create an atmosphere that is breathable for human beings in particular, so that someday in the distant future we will be able to live on other planets, which is an exciting prospect if you ask me. Okay, number 5. What is the meaning of Becky's question at the end of the article? So let's have a look at the end of the article here and let's find Becky's question. So the author asked, this is the last paragraph there, so the author asked both scientists whether they thought all the billions of dollars that were being spent on space exploration was justifiable. Okay, so Alan had his own response. So let's look at Becky. She actually asked the author a question. She fired a question back at him. And her question was, would you tell Christopher Columbus not to build his ships? So Christopher Columbus, of course, we all know, explored the world, and he, quote unquote, discovered the Americans, right? The America. And with the use of his ships, he was able to discover new terrains, new land. But there were already people, natives there, but he was able to discover it for the people that he was on the ship with. So we cannot tell Christopher Columbus not to have built those ships, because in building those ships, it enabled exploration, it enabled some forms of trade, and it also enabled a way for America to build right now and to become the country that it is right now. So if he hadn't set sail there, then the USA would be a really different place right now. It would not be what we know it to be right now. So in Christopher Columbus doing that, he enabled different cultures to engage with each other, and also to help explore different places around the world and utilize the resources that are available on that land to further transform it. So that is the meaning behind her question at the end of the article, that we cannot expect ourselves to stop exploring, because when we stop exploring, we stop expanding as a species. The only way that we can expand our knowledge and expand our awareness of our environment, then we have to explore new terrains, new lands. So the next exploration, of course, here is space, so that we can ensure that we can find a new planet. So that is the meaning behind that question. So if you got most of these answers correct, if you got all of them correct as well, well done. Okay, if you did not, just go back into the article, right? Locate where I went with regards to each of these questions, and then you'll get a bit of a better understanding. Perhaps maybe vocabulary was an issue, look up the specific words, look up their meanings, and then connect it with the context of this reading comprehension. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, well done. Now we will jump into the next reading comprehension exercise on the next lesson. In the next lesson, sorry. So, have a great day. I will see you soon.